We are.
All right, I would like to call this facilities committee meeting to order. Welcome. Let's start with a roll call. Ms. Edelman, can you start us off?
Liz Logan, present.
Dr. Watts, present.
Robin Murphy, present.
Charles Verdell Williams, present.
Daniel Schultz, present.
Leah Mulhern, present.
Ross Whiting, present.
Zachary Epps, present.
And Mia Blitstein, present. Can I get an approval of the minutes from our November meeting?
So moved, Charles Verdell Williams.
Second, Leah Mulhern.
All in favor?
Aye.
Wonderful. I would like to now turn this meeting over to Mr. Carter.
Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
First off, I'm saying I'm still working with FMX to get them situated so that we can get a better understanding as to all our work orders and PMs in our system and getting our people acclimated to. We was tried to have them set up tonight. There were some scheduling issues and they weren't able to make it for this evening. So I'm gonna start off with some pictures for the stadium project and some work that was done at Wyncote for the basketball court. These pictures here of the stadium where they're currently still in progress working of the end zone. This week they should be working on laying the actual field for the field itself. Hopefully that's the goal that they can start this week. And our next photo just basically shows us pictures of the stadium. The stadium on both sides for the visitor side and on the home side. So this is how far we've gotten so far. And again, they're working on getting the groundwork done for the field itself. Our next set of photos are just the end zone sides of the back end of the football field from the stadium side in the upper bleachers. So that's where the photographers and the press box are located. And the next one is just basically of the actual field itself. And again, they haven't laid the turf work, but that should be done this week. Our next slide actually indicates the work that was done at Wyncote Elementary, where we had an issue with the basketball court. This is where it was deteriorating, and we had a company come in to take and redo everything so that we wouldn't have any issues with the children falling off into the gravel area. So our next set of fish actually shows the work that was completed. Then the next set are numbers. Josh will most likely go over all of these numbers for us. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Carter. So looking back at our three strategic plan projects, one was the stadium, the other was the addition of Cedarbrook, and the third was the addition of Glenside. Between this facilities meeting and the last, we opened the bids for these projects and we finally got a final number on what these projects will cost. So I just wanted to give a high level overview, a summary of where our original budget was that we've been looking at this entire time. It was $22.6 million for the Cedarbrook addition, $18.3 million of construction cost, $4.3 million of soft costs. From the time of that original budget to the time we got to the bid, our estimators increased that budget a bit to $23.8 million. A lot of that was around some additional steel they felt was necessary. The structural engineer felt was necessary to support the roof because the addition in the existing building roofs don't quite match. So they felt that there could be some potential weather, snow buildup. They thought additional steel was warranted. That created the additional increase in the budget, expected budget of the project, up to $23.8 million. We were pleasantly surprised when we opened the bids, and the bids came back at $13.7 million. So typically in a project like this, we would see 2 to 4 bidders per trade and per general contractor. Here we have this broken out between general contractor, fire protection contract, plumbing, HVAC, and electrical. These are all the prime subsets we're required to bid the job under. And I'm happy to say we had, I think, over 6 bidders on each individual contractor. So these contractors were very, very hungry to get this work. So we got some very competitive pricing. The final construction bid total came in for Cedarbrook at 13.7 million, which was well below the expected amount. So either a great bid result or a bad estimate, one or the other. Also showing currently paid to date, we have paid our architect $600,000. We paid miscellaneous permit fees and miscellaneous soft costs around escrow to the township. Some of these architectural and engineering fees are not 100% around this project, but around some of the resolution required for the stormwater management the last time this project was done. All that conversation. So right now I have not separated those two costs. They're all included together, architectural and engineering fees. Any question on the Cedarbrook edition?
Oh, sorry.
Oh, no, that's fine. Related to our, I guess maybe this is a better finance conversation, but like related to the financing for this, I guess like that is well below the figure. So I guess I know we did like that maximum parameter and things like that, but like, is that enough lower where we're looking at considerably like borrowing considerably less at the same time, or?
Absolutely. So we were looking at a $30 million bond issue.
Yeah.
And I knew that in a high pressure situation like this, I would go do the math in my head.
That's you had anticipated the questions.
Yes, so a $30 million bond issue is roughly $2.3 million in debt service annually. So over the course of the next couple of years, we would have to add $2.3 million to our, our expenditure budget. But if we're looking at, if we are undertaking both projects, we're looking at a combined cost of 25 million. So that's around 1.9 million of additional debt service. So quite the reduction. And in this particular project, this final $18 million that we've come up with, this is approximately $1.3 million of additional debt service.
Not to look a gift horse in the mouth, but I am curious if you have any insight around, this is great news. I'm very happy about this. I'm very curious about where the estimate was meaningfully off. So I'm looking at electrical, for example, where it's essentially 2 million out of 2.6 off the estimate. Do you or we have an idea as to what the discrepancy there is?
I will get that information from you from the estimator. The gentleman actually showed up tonight. He was at the other meeting. I think he thought that was fine. He took off.
Oh, actually, who that was? Yeah. Okay.
So I invited him here tonight to speak on the project. Any questions?
Okay, thanks.
I'm sure he would gladly come out next week if there were any other questions that we have on the project. But I'll get you that information because yes, an estimate of 2.6 million in the actual bid amount coming in 788. We do need some answers on how they got to that number, how the bid came in. Typically on a spread this large, the contractor would call back and say, "Hold on, that was a bad bid. I'm withdrawing," but that didn't happen. So they're stating.
And just to be clear, the reason I think it's from a forward-looking perspective of the reports is just if there was a mistake and we're going to potentially see a change order down the line, it'd be nice to avoid that and know upfront what.
And some of this is estimation because Site Logic, our construction manager, decided to bid this 3 ways. So bid Cedarbrook as an independent project, Glenside as an independent project, and then have everyone submit a third bid as a consolidated project. Potentially, if someone's saying, "I'll do both projects at this price, but if I only get one or the other, this I was hoping to get some economies of scale in the bid price." So some of this they just bid the whole project. They're saying, "I only want these jobs. If I get both, I don't want them individually." So we're trying to break out that number. So there could be interesting. Thank you. And that we'll speak to that later. That goes to the approval process as well. Any other questions on Cedarbrook?
I actually had a quick follow-up. Just really quick, did we have any minority or women-owned businesses.
We did have participation, but I don't believe any of the awarded bidders were
Okay.
women or minority owned businesses.
It's good to know this, in that 6, we did have, at least considered in that 6, we had responses from funds.
All right, moving on to the Glenside project. The original estimate for this project was 7.7 million approximately. Obviously, with a much smaller job, the odds of the budget changing significantly are less and didn't happen. But eventually it was revised up to $7.8 million, with the construction piece being estimated at $6 million. When the final bids came back, the bids open were at $5 million, so $1 million lower than what was estimated. And a grand total estimated cost of $6.8 million for this project. So if this project were to stand alone as a $6.8 million project, it would be roughly $500,000 a year in additional debt service. Any questions on the Glenside edition? In the finance meeting, I have this repeated in a discussion about the approval of these projects.
The permit, where do permitting stand for both of these projects? Are we through that process now?
So we're in the midst of that project and getting approved. We're much further along than we were for the stadium project at this point. We already have our the biggest obstacle was getting the conservation district's approval of our stormwater management. That's been completed. That was the thing that held us up last time. So that's been done. We have requested permit forgiveness from the township that was granted in the past. To the greatest extent possible.
Everyone else probably knows the answer to this. What's the timeline on these 2 projects?
So we're looking to have both of these projects on an aggressive timeline completed before the fall of 2027, with the idea that we're moving 6th grade into the new wing at Cedarbrook for the opening of the 2027 school year. I believe if we approve the Glenside project, we can get that done a little sooner, as it's a much shorter project. Mm-hmm. We're looking at early next spring or late so winter, spring of 2027.
So 6th grade's in the modulars for another school.
That's correct.
Anything else? Any other questions? Is anybody online, or is our protocol?
Josh.
Oh. Great. Anyone here have any questions? Okay. We've done that. And I think we're ready to wrap this meeting up. Are we ready? Great.
So moved.
Asking for motions.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.